Hello there and welcome to another episode of the Premium Passion Hub. We are so glad to have you again. We have really moved a long way, and I hope that you remember and subscribe to our channel because that helps us grow even more. We are back with another episode, and I am Viola Kusasira together with the team. We are coming to you from Serena Conference Center in Kampala, Uganda, and later we shall be at Fast Sports Fusion in Bugolobi, Kampala, Uganda. That is a very nice space for all your sporting activities, including playing football, basketball, kickboxing. There is space for gymming to make sure you stay in shape, as well as a conference center and also bar and restaurant. So please check it out. In this episode, we have so much that we have put together for you. We also have a guest for you, and that will be a surprise. So please wait until you watch our Glaring Passion segment. So sit back and enjoy this episode. In our Premium Passion Weekly Motivation, adversity indicates self-discovery. Mohamed Salah, an Egyptian and Liverpool footballer born in Negreg, Egypt, began his senior career at Al Mokhloun and later departed Egypt due to civil unrest for Basel in 2012. He was scouted 2 years later and moved to Chelsea, where most people thought it was his green light. Unfortunately, it was one of the worst periods of his career, as he only scored 2 goals in 13 appearances. He moved to Fiorentina and later to AS Roma on loan, which later signed him, and he scored 15 goals in 31 appearances. He was spotted by Liverpool, that trusted him for a huge project under UG-KOP in 2017, and in just 1 year, he helped them win the Champions League title after 14 years and later their first Premier League title after 30 years. He has also been instrumental for this season's English Premier League victory, plus so many other accolades, becoming the African player with the most goals in the English Premier League. When we are faced with adversity, we have to maintain resilience, patience, and trust in God, as such times call for sheer strength to get through, which builds a character that is useful in the next cycles of life. For further reference, read Isaiah chapter 30, verse 20. Although the Lord gives you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, your teachers will be hidden no more. With your own eyes, you will see them. In the Uganda Cup, KCCA had it easy over Kataka FC. And coming in from the Uganda Premier League, reactions here in Uganda, it was one of the most ecstatic weekends for Liverpool fans, where the KOPS won their 20th title in the English Premier League. It was so much fun, a lot of celebrations, and we have this footage for you. So let's take a look at the previous action. In the English Premier League celebrations in Uganda, it was one of the most ecstatic weekends for Liverpool fans as the KOPS won their 20th title. Despite Slow's first season in England as a Liverpool coach, he defied odds of project building, like so many coaches hired, but maximized the gifts of the same team previously assembled by Klopp. How about a 30-year wait to clinch their 19th title in 2019-2020, and 5 years later they are clinching their 20th to equal Manchester United English Premier League title record. And Slot's brilliance can't be underestimated, as winning the title with 82 points and 2 losses has been a rare case in the past seasons. It was a team effort of the KOPS, as Slot believed that they are to compete for all titles. The celebrations of Liverpool winning their 20th English Premier League title were not only in Europe but also in Africa, Uganda and Kampala. The official Liverpool fans club, UG-KOP, were down at Fast Sports Fusion in Bugolobi, Kampala, where they also had really wild celebrations. From singing the anthem at the start of the game, celebrating every goal, chanting Ancelot's name like Klopp did last season, to singing the anthem over and over again, which shows the premium passion Ugandans have for the beautiful game. Don't forget to turn up for Liverpool's Premier League victory party at Fast Sports Fusion Bugolobi on May 25th, 2025. Let's take a look at some of the footage from these celebrations. And now looking at action for the week ahead, let's look at the Uganda Premier League, who have Vipers SC looking very focused on winning this season's title. And also the other teams are also struggling to do the same. So will Vipers win? We cannot tell. For our Glaring Passion segment this episode, we are honored to host the legendary ALDRINE NSUBUGA, who is the Vice President of StarTimes Uganda. He's here to show us his glaring passion for sports.
Thank you. I'm ALDRINE NSUBUGA Senior. I'm a marketer by profession. Vice President StarTimes Uganda, in charge of marketing and communications. That's what I do for a profession. Yeah. Done this for the last 25 plus years. Like I said, marketing is my profession. I've been head of marketing for like almost 5 companies in my career. I started with the MultiChoice, then I joined Uganda Telecom, known as UTL, worked for Crane Bank, Simba Telecom, and now I'm with StarTimes Uganda. And throughout, I've always headed marketing and sales. I'm very happy that in my journey, I've been very successful. At the moment, StarTimes is the leader in pay television in Uganda. We hold 65% market share. When I joined, StarTimes was not number 1. We're number 3. 11 years later, we are commanding in the market. I'm happy that I've made my contribution to that. I did pioneer pay television with MultiChoice in the Uganda. And for the 7 years I was them, of course, MultiChoice was firmly the leader in the industry. When I was at Uganda Telecom, it was at the time when the parastatal wanted to transform into a private organization. So it was renamed Uganda Telecom from Uganda Post and Telecommunication. It was during my time that we had the task of leading the transformation into Uganda Telecom, which we did very well. If you remember, we introduced mobile communication brand Mango. We had landlines, data, all those services. And of course, that transformation, changing the systems, the way of working, the service philosophy and thinking, the marketing. For a parastatal, we had to change everything, and I was very key in doing that. And of course, during my time, Mango became a very, very popular mobile brand, communication brand, and we had impact. But then it was while there that Crane Bank lured me to join them. And of course, during my time, the 4-5 years, Crane Bank then was the leading local bank. I was in charge of marketing and sales. The bank had more than 60 branches. It was a clear leader in local banks. Yeah, and that's what I do on a day-to-day as a career. I'm proud that I've been able to do that for years, more than 2.5 decades. I've been successful, I've inspired many, I've trained and coached many. But while doing all that, you'll be surprised, that's the same time you knew me as a columnist, because I've been New Vision columnist for more than 25 years. Number 1 columnist. Yes. I write 2 columns a week. I think if I count, in the 25 years, I think if I ever miss a column, writing a column, I don't think there are more than 7. 25 years of never missing writing a column twice a week. And I've done that. Why? It's one is writing is a talent. Yes. It's a born talent. It's a passion. And thank God I do it, and no one cannot even know that it's just a talent. I didn't go to school for journalism. I didn't do writing anywhere. It's just a talent. And because I do it from a passionate point of view, I love football with a passion. and having not gone ahead to play football as a career, I decided to use my other talents to remain in football. Key was the writing skill as a talent. But as well, I'm a football commentator. I've done commentary for UBC. If you remember GTV, when they brought Premier League football here and local football, I was the chief commentator. I've commentated for SuperSport as a TV commentator. I've done for SuperSport in South Africa and here. Star Times, we are now into broadcasting the local league. I've been a commentator, but now at some point I had to make a decision to leave it to the younger guys while I focus on my marketing. So yes, qualified, I'm trained in UK as a football commentator in South Africa. So I do it, I've been trained, but more importantly, I have the talent. So commentary, yes. As a pundit, football pundit, I've done that throughout. I've been a pundit for different TV stations, different football tournaments. Punditry means analysis, predictions of football. And I've done that again. GTV, which was a UK-based company, I was able to travel and work with them for some time. I came back here, been to South Africa for SuperSport. I've done it for them. But remember, these ones I do as part of my everyday lifestyle in terms of passion and the other things I do. So it's career, but career that I can do until I'm 70 or 80 because it has nothing to do with my everyday. And obviously, as a football administrator, I'm a football administrator, been an administrator on the board of KCC Football Club, which is the club I support. I've been the spokesman of FUFA, which is the Football Federation. I was their PR for 3 years. Their public relations, the spokesperson as the federation. I've been involved in football activism. So a lot of my life outside my professional career is around football. So either I'm an administrator, I'm a pundit, I'm writing, I'm commentating, I'm analyzing, I'm into Liverpool stuff. That's my life. So I'm not surprised that people get confused, but that's me. That's my package. Obviously, it helps that as the marketing director at Star Times, marketing strategy is primary to my responsibilities. Being a sports guy, being involved in sports, I know what sports does to brands. So I used my marketing mind, which is the mind that understands the power of branding, the impact of brand influence. You've got to be a marketer to understand that. To know that because football is the biggest sport in the country, it affects the biggest population in the country. Across north, south, east, west, West Nile, it's loved by the common man, the lowest guy to the highest. It brings everybody together. To understand that football does that, then you've got to have the marketing mind to think of how you can use football to market your brand to those people. Finding something that is acceptable by everyone and can be received without any inhibitions. Football gives you that. Remember also, football is a passionate sport. Sport is about passion. When people are attracted because of football, they come with a certain element of loyalty, inevitably, because they love sport. They are pulled by their love for sport, their love for football. A brand that associates will easily capture their attention, and once they take it up, they'll embrace it because it's a brand that they're associating with a sport they love. That's what inspired me as a strategy to influence my company to get involved in football, because I told you I joined where we were number 3. One of the strategies I came up with to quickly win over the market, to quickly market Star Times to the local man, because Star Times positions as the everyday person's pay TV. Football came in key, and that's the reason. So we come in so that we can increase our brand influence in the community. When you sponsor something like football, you get what we call unsolicited publicity. Every media house, every person will talk about your brand without paying for it because they live it. It is part of their day-to-day life. So whether it's news headlines or stories in the newspapers or break stories or the stars, anything around football, you've got to talk about it as media, you've got to promote it as media. Even the stakeholders, whether you are in parliament, whether you're in government, whether you're football administration, footballers, football, you'll have to talk about it without paying for it, and it's every single day. So that is what I went for when I thought we need to get in that space. 7 years later, the rest is history. We've got exactly what we looked for. Besides using it as a penetration strategy in the market, we are in the content business at StarTimes. People buy our decoders to connect to StarTimes, but what we do on a daily is to sell content. So the stronger the content you have on a pay television, the more subscribers you have. The better the content you have, the more people will pay every month to watch the content. Otherwise, if it's not good content, some months they will choose not to pay. The StarTimes Uganda Premier League is premium football content, premium sports content. If you have it as part of your content portfolio, the everyday person will find motivation to keep paying for the service. Even when I don't want to watch movies, I'm not a music fan, but StarTimes has football. I'm a Villa, KCC, Chitara, whatever fan. My team is playing tomorrow, I've got to watch. I want to see my rival playing, I have to watch. That's what football is about. So it's also because it's premium content. So many years later, I can tell you we are not regretting. We took on a long-term sponsorship strategy because you are not going to get your return on investment immediately. It's an investment. So if you sponsor for a few years, you won't get your return for investment. You've got to allow the public and people to embrace it, to get used to it. As they begin to consume, give it time. So we took on a long term so that we forget about the first 3-4 years. But after 5, 6, 7, 8 years, yes, now we are reaping our rewards. We are harvesting from it. So it was a good strategy. We don't regret it. And I have to be honest with you. Remember, we didn't have the Premier League. We didn't have rights for the Champions League. Our competition has it. The Premier League is very popular in Uganda. Champions League is very popular in Uganda. It's football. So what do? You are not going to have it because it's exclusive to your competitor. What do? You have to be creative. Our creativity led us to think, okay, because we can't get that, we have premium football that actually the local community identifies with. So if we go into it, we will conquer their attention faster, which has worked according to our plan. So yes, it was a wise decision, a very clever decision, and it's one of the reasons why we took over our competition. And right now, we are the leaders in the market because we have very strong local content in terms of sport, which is football, but plus other local content as well. Well, for now, we have 3 years left to our 10-year sponsorship contract. For now, it's the space we are into. What we've been doing is to help raise the consciousness of local football. Because when you put football on TV, even the people who didn't pay attention before begin to pay attention. The players who didn't pay attention before begin to pay attention. Remember where we are now, and this is the contribution we are making. A lot of our players now have got opportunities to go and play outside the country. They are being scouted. Why? There are clips available to show what they can do, to show what they do, and many of them are getting lucrative deals in other African countries, in European countries, thanks to TV and Ugandan football. There are many players who have been playing in remote areas of the country. Nobody knew about them. Now they are here. Now the clubs have scouted them. Now they are benefiting from it. The federation, FUFA, has used televising the local league as a platform also to show other sponsor brands that there is value in football. So the other benefit that we've brought to football is there are so many other companies now, brands, that have come to sponsor either a football club or to sponsor the Uganda Cup or to sponsor the national team, and that's benefiting football in general, because football needs money, money has to come. But who set the benchmark, who set the platform, and the route to that was once StarTimes put football on TV and people saw the value. For now, that's what we are doing. Future plans, I think, depends on whether we renew our 10-year deal or something else comes up. But as we've shown, we've appreciated football. StarTimes does have football content, European football content, FIFA content, UEFA content. We do know the value of football as a TV broadcaster. So we are still a part of it, and we'll still do what we can. I was born with the football talent. Actually, it's only because of I was also bright in school. I had to choose career-wise. Do you go football? Do you pursue career professionally? And that's the only reason I never played football beyond university and leisure football. But I've been a footballer since I was born. Very talented in school. Every report of mine throughout my primary, among things they said, the headmaster had to always end up brilliant footballer. It was part of my report. So my mother got used to that. She even started beating me at some point, thinking that I'm going to play football. Going to, of course, secondary. And by the way, I've been captain of the teams I played for, right from primary. I went to university. I captained my hall. I captained Mamba, the Mamba team. I played for the university football team. I've been playing football. In terms of what I played, I was an attacking midfielder, goal scorer. Central midfielder, I could play number 8, number 10. I could play the wing. My type was, I'm the joy footballer kind of thing, the flair type, a dribbler, exciting to watch, playmaker. That's my kind of that's how I was. Now, to show you my passion in university, when I joined the university, I had a broken hand. I had broken my arm because I played a lot of football during my VAC, and during one of those days, I broke the hand. So it's my right hand, which I'm a right-handed person. So I went with a big arm sling, that cast, that white thing they put on you. So I'm into campus, and yet I had spent my entire life in secondary, dreaming of going to university so that I can play the inter-hall competitions. The inter-hall competitions were almost like the Super League. The best footballers in the countries would come from all school. It was, and my dream was to do that. Now imagine my first year. Look at how my dream is being affected because I have a broken hand. Fast forward, I was the first, and I think I could be the only footballer in Uganda to have been allowed to play a competition with my hand in a sling. Why? I could not dream of not playing. I had to find a way of training with my hands. I did training for my hall. I used to be in CCE. We had to convince the tutor, sports tutor, the late Era Mogisa now, because he died, I think, last year, that I could manage it. I could still play the competition with a broken hand, with a sling. He watched my training for some time. He realized I was so good. He realized I was so passionate. He had to get us to commit. I should play safe. He allowed me. I did play the first inter-hall competition in my first year with a broken hand. And it was during that time that I was actually invited to join the university team. That's how good I was. That's just to tell you my passion and my whatever. But later on, because after university, of course, for me, I started working, I joined multi-choice and things like that. That's when I made the decision. Am I giving up football? Completely. I love football so much. It was part of me. I said, no, I'm not going to. I had started writing while I was in secondary. At university, I started writing there was a magazine called Soccer World. The people who led Soccer World one of them was my cousin, and he was working for the New Vision Group. He knew I had a talent to write. He helped me start writing articles for the soccer world as a student. Even at that early age, you could tell that I was a writer. Fortunately, the managing director of New Vision had called Sepuya, David, was an old Budonian. I'm a Budonian. We were in the same school together. He knew me, he knew everything. When he realized that I had started writing, he wanted to help me make the career of writing. So while at New Vision, when he saw my articles in Soccer World, he called me and said, Aldrin, can you start giving me your articles and I publish them in the New Vision? That's how I started. I started doing it casually, it was just for fun. But my articles were really, really good. It was obvious, it was just a talent. So he said, but Aldrin, why don't you? And that's how I started writing, and that's how I quoted. But while there also, this thing of doing commentary, like I said, for me, football was just, I could do anything in football. When I wasn't playing, I would get on the sideline at a football pitch, especially at university, and do commentary, commentate the games that are going on. If my hall wasn't playing, it was maybe Lumumba and maybe UH, I would just get there and start, you know, like the thing, out of fun. I did that also in A-level. And when the more I did that, I realized I can do this. Because remember, I was knowledgeable. I knew football, I was knowledgeable, I had the talent, I had the wish, and it was fun. I started doing, but the more I did it, I realized, I can actually do this thing. So again, after that, I'm discovering my talents. That's when I discovered, I think I can do commentary, I can write, and as you can tell, I'm a talker. Yes. I talk for a living, so talking is a talent. So once I can do that, of course, I had good communication skills. I'm good at vocabulary. My English is good. My Uganda is excellent. I said, why can't I do these things? And that's how I put myself into that environment. Once I volunteered myself into that space, anybody who watched me or who saw me and they were already in the industry, they had to invite me to join. James Sopoka, the late UBC, saw me very early and said, this guy, I think this boy can do ABCD. Patrick Rwandaga, the late UBC, they also saw me early. How did they see me? They used to listen to me when I was invited by different radio stations to give analysis or to make punditry, to comment about stuff. And guys who had me say, but this guy, who is he? That's how everybody got attention, because I would be invited and just go to talk about football and then say no. So I began my commentary career with UBC, my analysis and punditry with UBC during World Cup, during European Championships. Now that gave me a platform and platforms, different platforms. For New Vision, it was already obvious. Monitor also used to send them articles. But the more people read my articles, the more people listened to me, they just felt this is the guy. So my opportunities just came naturally. But like I'm saying, I did it because it was a consuming passion. I love doing it. It's football. I'm so knowledgeable about football. I knew a little more than a lot of people around me. And everybody thought I'm good at it. So with the invitations, the free platforms I was given, and the access I had to media, different editors in different newspapers, either they were in school with me or they knew something about me, they liked me. So it was easy, really. So once I got into the environment, I never looked back because I could never get out. Everybody always inviting me to talk about this, talk about that. And the longer it happens, of course, the better you become. And of course, you get to a level of being a senior at it, you get to the level of being an expert at things, and then you can't get out. And then everybody wants you to be the one. And then I become senior, and then I begin coaching others, I begin mentoring others. Meanwhile, to this day, I am still doing exactly the same. I've never stopped because I can't stop. It doesn't limit me. The StarTimes Uganda Premier League has been very competitive over the last 3 seasons. Remember, the last 2 seasons, it was won on final day. Yeah. Any of 3 teams could win it. That is a photo finish. That shows you the competitiveness. That has continued into this season. I like that NEC, having just come into the league last season, they are only in their 2nd season, and they have been the team to beat. For you Vipers to reach a point where they had to fight to overtake them, that is something. If you look at NEC, you look at their team, in fact not the team, their squad, it's as good as Vipers. The NEC squad is as good as Chitara's. the next squad is as good as KCCA squad. In terms of squad, I'm talking about 25 players that they have. They are good in terms of quality in depth. In fact, what they have, even better than some of these clubs I've mentioned, they have both quality but also experience in their team, because they've been gathering players from that other club, players who have been there, done it, quality, experience, they've won something, they're still hungry for football, they brought them together, mix it with some younger talents, and what they have with a very, very, very competent coach, and of course they have ambition. They're a very, very strong side. They've almost beaten every big team this season. They've been in the top 3 since the league started. I'm not surprised that they've kept there. Remember, they lost the Uganda Cup final last season. In their first season to Chitara. They've kept in this season. They were, I think, in the quarterfinals. I mean, you give it to Vipers because of their bigger experience, the fact that they have the pedigree to come from behind and overtake them where we are. And of course, where I am now, I'm thinking it's going to be hard to overcome Vipers. They seem to be well placed to win it. But NEC, brilliant. I watch their game. I like the football they play. They have style. They combine it with technical efficiency. Most of their players can walk straight into either KCCA or Vipers, obviously Villa and Express. That's how good NEC is. They have a coach who is so full of self-confidence. That is the mindset you need if a team wants to make it high. So NEC have not just come to pass the numbers. They want to be permanently now among the top clubs. I think they have the money to do that. They are backed by an institution that has the money, that has the backing. So yes, I'm very impressed, and I like the competition they brought. This season has been competitive, especially because the teams, remember, that almost disappointed us at the start. Bull, Chitara, URA, they started very badly in the first 2 months, almost the bottom 6. Where we are now, they are all in the top 6. Actually, Chitara has put up a run that's been amazing. They could finish in the top 4, having almost lost, 7 of their first 9 games. So again, Chitara showing us that they have depth. They also have quality, and they have ambition to be like a big team. So I like that as well. Now, the competitiveness has been lost on the element of competing for the title, because last season, any of 3 teams or even 4 could have won it on the last day. This season, unfortunately, Vipers, and unless they crumble to allow NEC to again come in, for now I think they are well placed to win. So for some reason, my KCCA, for instance, fell away, having promised so much in the first 3 months. For some reason, we fell away. We couldn't beat the big teams we are competing with. Disappointing. NEC beating KCCA twice. We share a home. That was ominous. It shows you not how far we've fallen, but in terms of ambition, how strong NEC's ambition is. But also challenging us as KCCA to say, where do we stand these days? Because for the squad that we have, the players that we have, to find that right now we might not even finish in the top 4, because we have to fight to finish in the top 4, that's shocking. So the champions, Villa, reigning champions, way below par this season. But it's because Villa, the one we have today, I think the ambition is not the same one as the Villa of old. Villa expected to win every season, then in the 80s, in the 90s, in the 2000s. Now Villa, because of financial issues and a lot of things, administrative, as long as they can survive and be among top 6, they are happy. If they win it, they are happy. But Villa doesn't play anymore to win every season. So you can see it from the squad they have. They don't buy the players who are supposed to be there to win. They are into young players. They're into allowing players to grow up and be nurtured. They've dropped the angle of winning because of things changing. So for me, this season, Vipers done well. They didn't start well. They've come after 3 months. Since December, they've been the best team since December. We know what they have. They have the money, they have the infrastructure, they have the players, they have leadership and ownership that is consumed by the desire to be successful and to win. That is important. They have the money, they have the players. They do buy when they want the players. They go for the coaches, the big coaches, when they want them. When even during the season when they're not doing well, they will sack a coach because they want results. Any club that has that tells you they are there to win. And for me, Vipers deserve to be where they are, and I think they are well placed to win the championship. I started supporting Liverpool, I think in my primary one, P1. It's my mother. It's my mother. It's also my mother who led me to support KCCA, by the way, because she used to work for the manager of the team. And from very early on, I was introduced to the football environment, the setting. But football, Liverpool, it was my mother. And then I had a chance sometime to visit an uncle somewhere in Lugaziwa, the black and white TV. There was the English League, and I think they used to show one game over every whatever. I had a chance to watch Liverpool, I think in my P2. I remember I couldn't miss Ian Rush and things like that. There was I saw John Barnes and things like that. I mean, when I got the chance of watching the team, straight away I had to go there. But the Liverpool name and Liverpool, it was my mother, and somehow I followed it up very early. And also early on I had a chance to go to Liverpool, and that completely changed me very early. So once that stuck in my mind, remember already I was a passionate football fan, Liverpool became Liverpool, and I just allowed one name in my head, that was Liverpool, and that was it. Now, as I grew up, P3, P4, especially when I go to P5 onwards, and I started watching the league, I watched Liverpool play. Ian Rush, John Barnes, who were the game, Ian Mulby, Jan Mulby, Hansen. I watched, and even at the end, because I was a footballer, I could tell a team that plays good football. Because Liverpool was so dominant those days. So the more I watched the team, for me, it was Liverpool. Now, of course, every year that goes, you are getting more mature. I'm embracing Liverpool more. I know more. I do a lot of research on Liverpool, blah, blah, blah. It just became the only thing for me. It's the only allowance I gave my head. That's how the passion was built. And because I'm a passion person as an individual, anything I love with a passion. Liverpool became Liverpool, and then, of course, all the way to this day. But of course, I told you, once I got a chance to go to Liverpool, early on, of course, later I've been there for other times. But once I went there, walked on those streets, once I actually got there, walked on those streets, looked and said, this is once that entered my head, that's when I made the decision. If I ever get a child, my firstborn will be named Anfield. I made all those decisions when I was in P7. I said, Anfield, Anfield, Anfield. My daughter, if I ever, and no wonder, and I had to do it. So once it got into my head, that was it. So, and when I got to understand what Liverpool stands for, when you are in Liverpool and you watch Liverpool, the truth is, it's not a normal football club. It's not. Yeah. It's not a normal football club. When you are there and you see those old ladies and I don't know who, it's the only thing they talk about in Liverpool. It's the only thing they talk about. You just have to, it's infectious. So once I got into that and I saw it, and I knew how Liverpool is supported, and it got into me, I had to take it up. So that passion and everything, I never looked back. So I had to take initiatives. Remember, you've just told me I had so many platforms to use my position to support Liverpool, but also to sell it. So that's why I had to use my platforms at every given point I had from very early on. I just was selling Liverpool, talk about Liverpool. And I know of so many youngsters today who have grown, but they're supporting Liverpool because of me. Because I used to use my platforms on radio, everything. Liverpool, Liverpool. And because I knew Arsenal was talked about, Man U, I had to use, I was the only, I think, person in that environment who was supporting Liverpool. And they said, why don't I use it? So that's how it happened. That's how it came up. And of course, every day that goes by, the success of Liverpool, the legends of Liverpool, the stars of Liverpool, the style of Liverpool. I like stylish football, the style of Liverpool. But for me, it is just the tradition of Liverpool, the culture. It's just a unique football club, and that's what I really, really went for. It's so passionate. It's just a different football club. So for me, once I got there, of course, later on I get my daughter. My firstborn is a daughter, and not a guy like me. So Anfield, she's a daughter, so she takes the name Anfield, and that's how it is. And so Aldrin Jr. comes in, but he had missed out of getting the name because it was a girl. Unfortunately, Anfield sounds like a girl's name. So that's how it turns. So she becomes Anfield, then Aldrin has to become Aldrine NSUBUGA Jr. So that's how the whole Liverpool thing, and of course the tradition of every one of my children must know Liverpool is the club. So very early on, because I had a chance to go to that early, I made sure every time I got my child, they had to have all those Liverpool things, whether it is bibs or nappies, or that's what I did. So every child who came in, that's how I started. You come, you know, whatever it is, you know, bottles. So by the time they begin understanding it's red, it's Liverpool, it's that's how it is. And so they had no choice, they have no chance. And yeah, and Anfield is very proud to be who she is, and my kids are very proud. And I continue. Now I have a grandchild, Atara. She's the first thing she ever saw was, again, she was born in Liverpool, whatever, and whatever, bibs and whatever. So now Atara, the Muzukuru, who is now I think 2 years, this year I think she might make 3 this year. She's Liverpool. So yeah, and that's how it is. You have to support Liverpool. There's no way. And that's the only time I say a parent is right to be a dictator. So because if you don't influence your child, someone else will. If you don't influence your grandchild, someone else will. So dictatorship must happen where Liverpool is concerned. You have to dictate it. If you don't, the cousin will, the brother, the neighbor will, the teacher at school will, the newspaper he will read will teach. So dictate, be the influence in your child's life. So that's my principle. I've lived it, and everybody around me, they're all Liverpool, and that's what makes me a happy man. I've always used the word pedigree to make people understand that in football, there are things that can't change. It's like my age now and what I am today is because of my past so many years. That's what defines me. That's what makes me who I am. What made Liverpool is the success of the past. There's so many championships that Man U came to say, we are going to drive you off their patch. That success, it's there, you can't remove it. It's what has built the brand. European success, local success, and all that. When a team has that, when a club has that, it is in your DNA. That's who you are, that's your pedigree. That means even when you had a bad spell or have a bad spell, whether it's 10 years, 15, 20, even when you have that spell, it is in your DNA to be a champion. Time will come, you will be that again. That's what happened to Liverpool. Now remember, you are talking about a drought. Yeah. That drought was only for the league. Yeah. Even in those years when Liverpool was not winning the league, Liverpool was winning the FA Cup, they were winning in Europe, they were winning the League Cup, we were winning. Yeah. The UEFA Cup, yeah. We were winning Europa Cup, UEFA Cup. Yeah. So even in a bad season, a very bad season, Liverpool could win you the FA Cup in a very bad season. Now, for as long as that's happening, it means you only have to ask what went wrong. Once you do the right thing, the club will start going back to winning ways, which we are patient enough to do. The formula eventually came, and of course, it's Mr. UG-KOP who has now reinvented Liverpool to have a formula for us winning again. We already have the pedigree, we have the DNA of winning. You just have to have a formula of making it a habit again, which is the case now. Also, remember for Liverpool, for some reason, that's why we supported that time, even during that time of drought. For Liverpool, it's never really been about the trophies. You can imagine the young Liverpool fans between 1990 and 2005, before we won the Champions League. The ones who were supporting Liverpool, why were they supporting Liverpool? We're not winning the league. It was Manchester United. It was Arsenal. So what is it that made them support Liverpool? It is something about the club. So anyone who gets to understand or to get to know the club, the behind the scenes, something pulls you to the club because it's just loved in a special way. The fans love the club in a special way. So either that draws you to it or things like the players we had. And that helped us in that time. John Barnes, Ian Rush, Robbie Fowler, Michael Owen. That time, Luis Suarez, Steven Gerrard. There's some individual players that we had. They were just awesome. So anybody who watched them, even when the club was not winning, but you watch these players, one of those players could draw you to Liverpool. So that kept us going. Torres, Sami Hipia, we had players. Yeah. So that helped to sustain us. But Steven Gerrard, of course. Once we won the 2001 UEFA Cup, yeah. The treble we won, yeah. Michael Owen and the company, the guys who won that thing. Once we got that, then we won the Super Cup. Then Liverpool became a winner again in Europe. Once that consciousness came back, it was always very easy. We knew that it's only going to be a matter of time. And of course, Rafa Benitez comes, he brings us big names, we win the Champions League again, the big stars come, we with the Torreses of this world, the Luis Suarez of this world, then again, the attractiveness of the club, then of course bring on Jurgen Klopp, and now the rest is history. Winning again twice in 5 years is because Jurgen Klopp has reinvented the winning formula. We know how to win, we have the experience, and we are a winning club. So no wonder we had to go back there. So yes, it's been well worth it. I still had the same passion in the time of not winning. I still had the same love. I still have the same. So nothing changes with the Liverpool supporter. We are the same throughout. Yes, because who actually endorsed his signing? It was Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp loved the club so much. That's why he left football. That's why he's not coaching again. The time he spent at Liverpool, he became a fan. He became a real fan, supporter of the club. That's why once he thought, because of the age and the success, he no longer had the energy. He felt he couldn't inspire. He didn't want to just continue with the job for the sake of it, because he wanted to see that team continue to win. So he made the right decision at the right time to say, I think I can't motivate this team anymore. I can't inspire them. They've got to keep winning. Let me step aside because I've got no energy. But before I do that, let me prepare for my succession. He took a very practical part in identifying, choosing a successor. That's why on the day of his departure in the stadium, he's the one who sang the Onslaught song. Yeah. He was telling them, the guy who is coming, I believe in him. He will do it. That's the reason he did it. And because he had already done the home ground, the background, he had laid the foundation, he knew the team lacked nothing. It just needed someone who was like him in approach, in thinking, in mindset. He identified Onslaught. He says, I've done everything for you. You have the skill, you have the talent, you're a good coach. Once you fall in love with Liverpool, I know you can't fail. And if you notice what Onslaught said, I think last week, after the success, the thing he says, you know what? Once you are here at Liverpool, you just can't be anything. You have to become a Liverpool supporter. And he said, the other Sunday when we won the championship, what he saw that day, he's never seen it anywhere, and many teams have won championships, but he had never seen that kind of celebration, which was almost like a worshipping session. It was almost like a family thing. He says that uniqueness is why so many players want to play for Liverpool. It's why many Liverpool fans can't think of anything else. Now, the reason I'm giving you that background to understand that Onslaught comes in a setting which has been prepared for him. Once Jurgen Klopp told the team, I am bringing him, I believe in him, we will be fine. The team believed that because they loved Jurgen Klopp so much. So instead of crying for him, they say, okay, that's why you see Onslaught has done not much. All he has done to just bring in his own tactical input into the team. The rest was already done. The team already has players who have won the championship before, 9 of them. So they have the winning experience, they have the driving passion. We've got good players who came in, and why not? Hungry players, why not? And that's the difference. The reason why Arsenal and Man U are struggling to get back to their old Arsenal and Man U, that example you must see from Liverpool. It's because, and I've said that many times, Ferguson and Arsene Wenger were selfish. They always wanted to be the only legacy at those clubs. It's why Man United, Ferguson never really bothered to really go before he left and really nurture, and he didn't want that. That's why you can look at the people he brought in, recommended. It was nothing near him. But the reason why, because he wanted United ever, amen, to be Manchester is equal to Ferguson. They were selfish. That's exactly what Arsene Wenger did. Arsene Wenger had too much time to prepare for his exit. Too much time to prepare for his exit. He also didn't do it. You know why? For them, it was about Arsene Wenger. Unbeaten, I don't know, invincible, I don't know. That's what they wanted. Now, that's the difference That's why you've never seen anywhere where a coach comes in to praise the one who is succeeding him, and when the successor comes and they're asking him how he has won the title, instead of crediting himself, instead of saying, oh, we've won it, I have had a great team, he said, you are asking me why I won it? Sing Jurgen Klopp. It's never been done in any club. That shows you the difference of Liverpool. It shows you it's not about the coach. It's not about the manager. It's about the institution of Liverpool. And that uniqueness is the reason why Liverpool will continue winning and winning, because you don't go to Liverpool and remain the same, whether you're a player or not. And that's the difference between Liverpool and the other clubs. The struggles of Arsenal and United is because the people in charge don't care enough about the club. They don't have that thing. It's about the individuals. Liverpool, it's about the institution, about the brand, about the name. Liverpool never lost it anywhere during the season. Actually, Liverpool were better in the second half of the season, like more better than we were in the first half of the season. So I don't know where people get it that we had lost it. If you look at the games won, points acquired, draws, goals scored, matches lost in the second half of the season and in the first half of the season, the second half is better than the first. So where do people get it that we had lost it? No, the stats and numbers show. And these things, you don't have to argue. They are there. Points accumulated in the second half, more. Goals scored in the second half, more. Goals conceded in the second half of the season, less. More players scoring goals, it was better in the second half. We got better in the second half as a team. Where people get that, I am not sure where they get it, but it's wrong. It's a fallacy. Now, since November, towards the end, I believe that it will be ours when we went through December unattached. We led for 6 months, I think, or 5 months. Once we didn't lose that leadership after December, especially after Christmas, once we maintained it, I knew we were going to win this one. But also, there are things that showed you. For example, on paper, no team wins the league without a consistent standout player. It never happens. We're the only ones who had it. Mo Salah. None came close. We had him, one player. Consistent for goals, consistent for assists, from start to finish. We're the only ones who had it. And a team that wins must have that player. We're the only ones with it. 2, it is wrong for people to say other people fell away. Other teams fell away. They didn't. They were never good enough this season. Every team at the start of the season plans for one thing, the league. Every team, the bread and butter of football is the league. When they are buying players, when they're investing money, when they're buying coaches, you are planning for the league. No team starts the season planning for the Champions League. No team starts the season planning for the Europa Cup. No. Teams start the season planning for the league. So, the reason they fell away this season is because they were not good enough. Now, you talk about Man City losing Rodri. I don't know, injuries. Every team, every season faces injuries. Every team, every season has a player who goes off form. It's the nature of football. It's what makes football. There is nothing new in Rodri not being available. Teams have lost their best players. Arsenal didn't have Jesus the whole season. They bought him for a reason. We've not had Joe Gomez. At a time, we didn't have Alexander Arnold for almost 6 games. So the issue of injuries cannot be used as a reason for not winning the championship. You have 25 players, a squad. Man City has been winning 4 times on the trot. It is the same team that wanted to win the 5th. So when did they become a bad team? You gave them all the praises after 4 seasons. The best team ever, the greatest in the Premier League history. They've won 4 on the trot. Ferguson never did it. So that same team returned for the 5th time. How has it become bad? Why now do you find excuses to say something went wrong? It's the same team.
True.
Now, you think Arsenal were good enough to win it? Arsenal were not good enough to beat City in 2 seasons. This season, when they've had the same team, when they've competed, very nearly competed, when they've corrected the mistakes they had, when they have a better defense, when they beefed up with better players, they are 15 points away from the champion. Last season, they were 2 points away from Man City. 2 seasons ago, they were 5 points away from City. Now they are 15 points away from City, from Liverpool. Is it because they're worst team? No, it's because Liverpool has been too good.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you're getting my argument. These are the same teams that have been competing. Let's go to Chelsea. Last season, Cole Palmer comes in, the best talent in the world. He's done ABCD. I don't know, the best player in the Premier League. And he has the numbers, everything. That same Chelsea has returned this season. We are 22 points above them. Is it because they're a bad team or worse? No. What has changed with Man United? The same poor United last season, the same poor United 2 seasons ago is the same one season. But you know what? We are 38, 41 points above them. Is it because they are poor? No, it's because Liverpool this season has been too consistent where others have not. Our players have kept their form where others have not. Can I tell you what? Arsenal claim they don't have a striker. I agree, they don't have a centre forward. Does Liverpool have a centre forward who is good enough? Absolutely not. Diogo Jota, disappointing season. Mr. Nunes, disappointing. They're the 2 centre forwards you have. We've won the championship by how many points? 15 above our second forward. What contribution has Jota made on Nunes? Nothing. But who have stepped in? Luis Diaz, Gakpo, Alex McAllister in midfield. Are you getting my argument? To win a championship, there are many elements that get to it. Either you have quality in depth, or your coach is good, or your preparations have been good. What Liverpool has done that nobody realized. Remember, we are the only team that have denied Pep Guardiola a premiership during his time. Yeah. Twice now in his time. Yeah. Twice. Yeah. Twice, Liverpool fell short of winning that title by a point. Yeah. True. 97 points, 92 points, we didn't beat Pep Guardiola. It means during the Pep Guardiola days, there is only one club that has been good enough to challenge him. So us winning this season is not a shock. We are the only team that have been good enough during the 7 years that Pep Guardiola has won to win it. That is why we are the ones who understood the mix. And there is no accident that Pep Guardiola has come out not more than twice, more than 5 times to say he has never faced a competitor in his career as Liverpool, whether in Barcelona or in Bayern Munich. Why? He has been around 7 years to see this team is really that good. So, any chances, any accidents? No. Liverpool winning? Yes. By right, by might, they are the only team that deserve to win this season. And when you win by that gap, when you are 21 points above City, you are just too good that season. Alan Okello, don't even go ahead. Alan Okello. Alan Okello.
Why?
One, first of all, he's my boy. He left KCC. I saw him coming up from the time he was 16. We nurtured him for 4 seasons. He made his name there. He started building his character there, his talent there. Actually, he was a better player while at KCC than he is at Vipers. Certainly, what you're seeing at Vipers is scoring goals. But in terms of talent and what he brings to the table and what he does for the team, he was a much better player at KCC. Not that now he's worse off. I'm saying his talent came out more while at KCC. And I'm saying what he's doing now is adding goals to his name. He is good because he's effective. He knows when to make decisions. He knows when to dribble, when not to dribble. He's a young, small guy. Too talented, too skillful for the ball. He doesn't dribble all the time. He knows when it's time to make a pass. He knows when it's time to make a run. That final ball, that decisive goal, his mentality has changed. He's now influential in the national team. He wasn't before. He's the leader in Vipers. He wasn't before thinking like that. When you think of the development of Alan Okello as a footballer, it has come full circle at Vipers. Because of his influence, because of adding numbers to his game, because of being the kind of player you want to watch all the time, he's led Vipers' charge to the title. Vipers didn't win the title last season. His form is leading Vipers to win the title this season. They are fighting for a place in the Uganda Cup final. Maybe they'll make it, and if they do, maybe they'll win it. If they win the double, Alan Okello has everything to do with it. Alan Okello has been consistently exposing his talent to the rest of us. yes, he's the best player in the country today, even though, of course, he's not as good as the best players of old. Tough one. I'll go for Rakataka Ponciano.
And why? Why you choose?
This is a guy from nowhere, without getting any formal training, without being exposed to anything in motor rally. He came from the lake, fishing, fisherman, no nature or che. He just says, I want to drive. He gets a stupid car. He molds it himself because he believes he can drive. And he says, he gets on that nankani. He starts doing his thing, using a stupid car. I don't know how he najitemat. I don't know what kafane kalevin or whatever. He gets there. His first time to race, he beats these guys. He didn't win it, but he beats these guys. Where you are? I don't know whether Wakuna. Once he discovers that he can do it, he never looked back. Today, you've got to convince me that there's a better driver. Seeing him winning championships, seeing him taking on the bigger cars, Subaru N12, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. Those guys with money. This guy uses just talent. Yeah. He comes, he sweeps them aside. For me, it's not easy to find that kind of sportsman. And the passion, also the love. And the way he uses his own money. Why would he be in rally? This guy has not been sponsored until I think lately. Yeah. But this guy, well, he was lucky. So he comes in and uses his money. But without getting anything, he's passionate about the sport. Yeah. He loves the sport. He's been successful. And he has this thing of Njabakuba. Now he's going for Africa Power Rally. Yeah, yeah. I think for me, when I look around and say, this guy, I think he's a template. He's something to learn from. I go for him because, yeah, he's inspiring. I don't just support KCC. I call myself a KCC legend. I'm a legend.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a legend of KCC. Lifelong supporter and all that. I've done my part to bring many changes. I've led revolutions in the club. I've contributed in bring money to the club from where I come from and all those things. KCCA, as good as Vipers, as good as any club this season. I think our problem is one. One, politics. How the KCCA board is constituted is foolish. It's stupid. They're using an archaic template of saying the board must, I don't know, have how many from the authority, because authority is, it's stupid. Football doesn't work that way. So you get politicians on the KCCA board who know football, who do not support KCC, to make decisions for the club. Decisions on what? Decisions on the budget. Decisions on which players to bring. Decisions on which coach to bring. Come on. That's wrong. Yeah. So much so that they even compete with coaches in terms of who is stronger, who is bigger. So the first problem I'm seeing at KCC is that I'm calling it archaic. That archaic way of managing a football club. You don't tell me that you get a board to manage a football club when the board is full of people who only know one thing, councillor. What do they know? Half of them or even more could be supporting Villa or Express. I can tell you, they are in the board because they are employees or they work for the authority. They don't support KCCA. How many of them ever watch KCC play? Probably one or two. Watching the team play. Do they have passion for the club? No. If you look at the problems we are having, it's because of that. If you have a board that is constituted by people who love the game, know the game, and are KCC people who will know the mechanisms and what to do for the club to win. Let me ask you, has KCCA bought a big player in the last 5 seasons? Because you guys follow football, but now I'm taking technical now. Try to think about it. Which is the biggest player KCC has bought in the last 5 seasons? No one. Do you know why? Because the board thinks it's too much money to put on one player. Where do you win a championship without a big player? Why do you think Vipers put 100+ million on Okello and went ahead to spend how much money on his house? What is Okello doing? KCCA, that's a mindset. They think football today, you can win with youngsters who are talented. We have 10 of them. We brought them from the academy, from the youth team. But in that talent, by that promise, we need time. KCCA doesn't need time to win. You must win a title every season. It's the thinking. Instead, what have we done? Alan Okello was our player. What did we do? We took the money and gave away our big player. Did you replace him? No. When you're buying players, who do we buy? We bring back Nsibambi, Derek, 30 years old, Yagenda, Agenze. Who else do we bring? We bring Sadata Amaku. We bring... look at the players we bring. Clearly, they're not players to come to win the title. What does NEC do? What does Chitara do? I'm showing you the difference. Look at Chitara team. What do they have? 15 players of quality, experience, Vipers, KCC, bring them, they've won, go and fight. Do you see how they've recovered from a bad start?
Yeah.
They are mature. They know how to fight.
Yeah.
NEC, what are they doing? Exactly. Petuli Kubichi, akana kaja kusamba mpira. Oh, Kajida. We don't have a goal scorer. Why wouldn't you put money on a goal scorer when you want to win the championship? We don't have a goal scorer. But where are the goal scorers? They are present. Do you want to make the money? No. So at KC, it's not the coach. I want to dispute that. It's not the coach. It's not the coach. Certainly, it's not the coach. Our coaches, that's why the only coach who managed to have his way, Mike Mutebi, is still the most successful. Yeah. And if we don't think about that, we'll continue to suffer. So what should KCC do? Forget this thing of board. I will say it again and again, no matter what you do, if that board remains as it is, the mayor, my friend Rukwago, the patron, choosing to name that board on account of who he likes because of the politics. Yeah. You are not working for the club. You are working for your politics. The board behind Vipers, the management behind NEC, the management behind Chitara are consumed with the desire to win and become a big club. It's not happening anymore at KCCA. So for me, yeah, we have very good players, but young players. They are not going to win for us the title. Unfortunately, I don't have many good memories of the Uganda Cranes. I think it's good that you're going to host Chan in 2027. We are going to play Chan December. I like the way we qualified. I like that the new coach has changed the way we play, the philosophy. I like the way he's choosing and selecting the team because he gave a chance to local players. I like the way he chooses his starting team because he does it on merit. I like the influence of Sam Simbwa, who is advising on local players who are called up and used. I like the way he's trying to change the mindset of the team. I like what I'm seeing with the Cranes, the development, the growth. I like. Can we go ahead to make an impact yet? No, we are still growing. Are we good enough? No, we are not good enough. We still don't have a goal scorer reliable. We still change the team from time to time. This current Uganda Cranes, we are going to take time before we have 5 players who will keep their numbers for 2 years. We don't have it in Uganda Cranes today. We need a Uganda Cranes team which is predictable every time you call it. You need a team where when they say they are signing a Uganda team, every Ugandan can say, number 1 is so and so, number 2, we don't have that and we're not going to have it. Why? Ugandan players are not good this season and good next season. They are good for 6 games, they are good for 6 months, bad for 10 months. That's the Ugandan players we have today. So for me, that's my disappointment with Uganda Cranes, is even though we are building and going in the right direction, the formula which we have using is the only one we can use, but where are the players to do that? Ugandan players are inconsistent, they don't maintain form, they switch teams all the time, they are going for professional football, coming back, going outside, coming back, they are not stable, they think money, 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 they play for the national team to get a cap so that you can use that cap to go and use it somewhere to be signed. So I don't see that commitment in the national team, and it's becoming hard for the national team selectors to maintain the same team and to have one way of playing for the national team. We lack identity, but this new coach is trying to bring some kind of identity. So what is the future? I'm not so sure, but I like the new changes. Am I confident that we are good enough to qualify for World Cup? No, we won't qualify for World Cup. We're not ready. We're not qualify. But let's see what happens in the next 5 years. Best memory for Uganda Cranes. Standout game. I have none. I've watched so many games. I've watched tournaments. We've won Sekava tournaments. But I can say that of my KCC club. But national team standout game, I struggle. And I've watched the Majidus, I've watched everybody who has played. Maybe one, it was Uganda Cranes versus Algeria at some point, Africa National Qualifier. That time we still had Domondi and Godfrey Katerega and blah, 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 blah. But try to make me remember a game and I'm thinking I sat in that stadium and oh my God. No. It was always been in the videos. Cranes playing great football? No. But we had great players and I've loved so many of them. Standout game? No. Standout match? No. But that's Uganda Cranes, and we love our Uganda Cranes. Nothing much. Let them go and enjoy the experience. Let's hope that they can do well, show well, and we see what we can do for the future. I've not got evidence yet that our players who come through the youth system stay long enough to influence the national team. Many of them fade away, many of them disappear. We don't see them again. So I just like that they qualified for the first time. It's good. They followed our plan, which finally came good. I'm hoping that we can achieve from that. Let them enjoy the tournament. Let them do well. James Bongere is a talent. He really is a talent. If we can nurture him, handle him well, promise him good times, maybe. But do I have real positive vibes about the under-17? No. Why? I need evidence that the Uganda youth players use it as a platform to develop, get into the national team, and become stars. We have no evidence of that. None. And that's my concern. If I haven't seen it before, you have to first show me. So for me, it's a team that made it, but let them go and enjoy themselves at the World Cup. And for me, that's where it ends. Jackson Mayanja. Jackson Mayanja, he was complete. He had everything that Omondi had. He could do everything that Omondi did. He had the same talent as Omondi, but he had some things that Omondi never had. For instance, he would use the left and right foot. If he was such a consistent goal scorer for a midfielder, for a number 10, at national level, at club level. He played his football for 17 years. He was the same player. The same quality, the same performances, the same class for a guy so short. In terms of talent, it's unimaginable. He was too talented. The skill, Jackson Mayanja at number 8, where he started. When he went to play number 10, and then in his final 3 years, he played as a number 9. If you asked anybody, what number should Mayanja play? You'll be hard-pressed to be told what was his best number. He was that good. But for me, it's just what he brought to the game. Mayanja, whether you were a rival fan or not, you just had to respect the boy. He came to the scene at 16. At 16. You see where Alan Okello is? He's now 21, 22 or something like that. You think he's great? At 22, Mayanja was the biggest brand in Ugandan football. So it has to be Mayanja Jackson. It has to be Mayanja Jackson. It has to be Mayanja Jackson. Diego Maradona. Rest in peace. Don't listen to anybody who's talking about Lionel Messi. Don't, please don't. Diego Armando Maradona is the greatest footballer of all time. The only thing that Messi has on him, the only, is goals, stats. The only thing. Cut out any other thing you've seen and know about Messi. Whatever Messi was, Diego Maradona was twice better. But there is also one reason. He's the only footballer in history, even in his retirement, who just needed 10 other players to win a title or a game. The only. Whether it was Argentina, whether it was in Naples, whether it was in Barcelona, the only footballer. Every footballer you are told, you've heard the stories of Messi. Oh, he was let down, he wasn't winning the World Cup because the other players are not good enough. Oh, that year, it would have been good. And by the way, I'm an Argentine fan. Oh, that season it was good, but you know the other players are too poor, whatever. If you are the best footballer, turn that mediocre team into a winner. Maradona did that over and over and over again. Messi never did that. Diego Maradona had everything. Of course, Usain Bolt. It has to be Usain Bolt.
Your choice.
An entertainer. Oh, it's Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
Champions League, now that I'm seeing things the way they are, I'm going to give it to Milan, Inter. Because before then, I had given it to Barcelona. Over 2 legs, they did enough to show me if you can do that to Barcelona twice, you go toe-to-toe with Barcelona twice. Inter has proved to me they are good enough and they will win it. I don't care who else goes through today.
Europa League.
Europa League, okay, the way it seems now, Can Spurs shock Man U? I'm not. I think it's going to be a Man U thing, but it's embarrassing. Why? I mean, 14, 15 in the league, they win the Europa Cup and they play the Champions League next season. What nonsense is that, sure? The winner of the Champions League, they are 15th and 16th. They are going to play the Champions League to compete against the champions. What is that? But that's for another day. So yes, I think Man U might win, of course, to my chagrin.
Any last words to the sports lovers?
Last word to the sports lovers. Sport is about passion.
Yeah.
If you are not passionate and you are a leader in sport, you are an administrator, please get out. The reason why sport is failing at all levels, whether club level, national level, at administration level, the reason it's failing is because many people who are in sport, they are not passionate about sport. Sport is something you must love. You must look at it as a passion. So for me, if you are into sport and you have a career, please develop a passion for the sport. If you're a footballer, develop a passion for it. You have to have passion. So for me, sport is everything. When politics is disappointing us, making people cry, this and that, they hide out, please go into sport. It's neutral. Go and express your passion there. Controversial as I am, me, with my very, very contradictory things that I say and my strong opinion. Had I got into politics, I would be in prison every year. I'll be in prison right now. Maybe I would be dead. So where can I express my free mind, opinions, and all controversies? Sport. I have a perfect place to hide. So sport is the place for people like us who want to give our opinions and you want to be happy, still have fight, but still have enemies, but keep them as friends. The people who hate me most are Arsenal, Man U, Villa, Express, whatever. But can I tell you, they are my biggest following. Whether it's on my platforms, they are my biggest following. They never miss anything I say. They never miss anything I write. They have to follow me, but they hate me. And that's the beauty of sports. I think it's simple. They just have to know if you want to be an official supporter. Official means you belong to a formal official club recognized by Liverpool, registered, we have a license, we have a registration number, we are part of the International Supporters Club. That's what brings Liverpool together. If you want to be part of that, formalize your support, become a member of UG-KOP, because that's the group that we all belong formally. And you want to learn how to support Liverpool, UG-KOP, you'll find us veterans there to teach you how to love Liverpool. And you want to know why Liverpool is special, come to UG-KOP, because we will tell you all about the speciality of that football club. But guys, we are the only registered club in the country. That's pride. That's organization. These are the special things I keep telling about Liverpool. So even here in Uganda, there are things we do that other clubs can't do. That's the uniqueness of the club. So guys, it's a pleasure being part of UG-KOP, the formal and official supporters club. And let's have this party that we're going to have on the 25th, I think, of May. Let's all be part of that trophy parade. Let's come. I think it will be here. Let's just pay the subscription. Let's pay the fee and let's be part of that. Let's have fun. Let's celebrate. It's brotherhood. It's sisterhood. It's love for one football club, and the only love that no one can take away from you. Why not? And for those who haven't kids, please give them names that are associated with Liverpool, because then you live as a Liverpoolian every single day.
Thank you so much, Aldrin.
We have come to the end of today's episode of the Premium Passion Hub. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you remember to subscribe on your way out. There is also a chance for you to win prizes in our Premium Predict and Win. This is where you go to our social media on the Premium Passion Hub, that is on Facebook, YouTube, X, as well as TikTok. In the comment section, give us prediction for who you think are going to be the winners for the Uganda Premier League, the UEFA Champions League. Before I forget, there is also the Uganda Cup, as well as the UEFA Champions League. Let us know who's going to win, and you can stand a chance to win prizes like television sets. We also have a cash prize of 1 million Uganda shillings, so please don't miss out on that. And until the next episode, I am Viola Sasia. Bye.